Hey beautiful people, Damien Horton here. Today's coaching newsletter is actually from an email from a reader who had a couple of questions for me, but one that stood out that I thought would just make a perfect video for today was they wanted to know, how do you break your state of being? So when you're in that place and you're completely flustered, you're totally angry, or you're just way out of sorts, what do? What are the tools? What are the steps that I use to break that state of being? So first and foremost, if you guys could hit the subscribe button and the bell, stay up to date with the new videos as they come out, and hit the like button and share my content as far and wide as you can for anyone that you think might need to hear this message. So what do you do to break your state of being? The first thing that I would always look at is a pattern interrupt. So when we're in that funk, maybe it's a work colleague, maybe it's your ex, maybe it's a health condition that you're struggling through at the moment, and you go into that place, you've gone into a reactive cycle. Basically, we go unconscious. It triggers the hindbrain, which is part of the brain that it's all involved with survival. It's reactive and it's unconscious. We lose the present moment. And this is where our perceptions and our beliefs come from. These unconscious beliefs that we have about ourselves or about the world. But when you can use what's known as metacognition to actually observe the thought pattern, to watch it, you're basically almost like stepping outside of yourself, and you can just grab that present moment. As soon as you do it, you're not that program. You're actually watching yourself in that reactive state, and then you need to label it for what it is. It is just a survival behavior. It's an unconscious survival behavior that you've used, that we all use, when we feel threatened, when we're really hurt, when we feel hard done by. We learn these reactive states when we're kids, as we're growing up, just surviving in our environment, in our family unit. That's what it is. It's a subconscious program that we've needed to use at a younger age to maintain what we believe is some sort of control. But obviously, it doesn't give us any control at all. We become disempowered when we buy into that program. So using a pattern interrupt and being able to just say change. You're becoming aware. You can use any word you want to just to interrupt that pattern and call it what it is. Because it truly has nothing to do with your limitless potential or your true self. It's a learnt pattern of behavior. So that would be number one. The second is, I would say that you need to take an action. And this is what I use most often. As soon as I'm out of sorts and it all seems insurmountable, so what has to be done during the day, or I've got some tricky things going on with my personal life or whatever it may be, I know that the faster I take an action, the sooner I'll move out of that state and back to balance. So again, we're talking about metacognition. We're talking about awareness here. Catch yourself. And when you catch yourself, you're going to replace that state of being, okay, this mood that we go into. You're going to replace that with a pro-life, proactive action. You can go for a walk, go for a run, go to the gym, call a girlfriend, okay, go see a family member, go do some yoga, go spend time with the kids, go play with your dog in the back garden. Be creative. You could even challenge yourself if you're into poetry, art, design, anything like that. Break the state of being by taking an action. And the act of taking that action immediately starts to return us to that balanced state. It is the fastest hack that I've been using for 14 years since coming out of my coma. I've been saying to people on repeat, the action comes first. We get derailed in the analysis, the details, all this stuff up here, and I just tell people repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly, the action comes first. You take that action and you would change your mood very, very fast. And then the third one is, this is the powerful stuff, it's your emotional power. If you're hanging on to an emotion that you don't want to feel, an injustice or a disappointment, you've got to allow yourself to feel. The feeling creates the healing. We generally never think greater or beyond how we feel in our body. So when you feel depressed or you feel angry, you think angry thoughts and depressive thoughts. We get stuck in that state when we just won't let the natural flow of energy happen. It won't move. When you suppress, you block, you distort your feelings, it changes our state. It changes our electromagnetic signature that we're putting out into the universe. And it can, even long term, it can cause disease, all sorts of problems. So when you just allow what is, I mean, in Buddhism, they say all suffering is caused by resistance to what is. And a perfect example of that is suppressing emotion. So you've got to feel if you want to heal. So it's a vulnerable space and it takes courage. But I find that if there is something I need to move, I can move it very, very quickly. It's not a mood. It's not something that takes days and weeks or months. If there's an emotion in the body that's got to move, I move it, I express it. If I need to speak it, name it and claim it, I'll confide in someone who's heart-centered. I'll call, one of my dear, dear friends who I know is connected to their spirit. And I'm not trying to get love. I'm not trying to get validation. None of that. It's about just confiding almost in someone and expressing. This is why we have this right here. Our throat energy center, the throat chakra, is where you express your truth and the human spirit out of. Perfect example is Martin Luther King's speech, I have a dream. When you want to talk about someone in their power, someone expressing the true self, the human spirit, listen to the vocal tone. Listen to the clarity and the power in his voice. But that's for another video. So to recap, there's the 3 tips that I would give you that you can implement straight away. You gotta understand that this reactive state is a program. Okay, so by using metacognition and being able to see the program, change it, become aware. As soon as you're aware, you're in the present moment. You're here in this now. And then you can change it. Consciousness then can choose something else. Metacognition. Now, number 2, taking an action. So you want to have like your toolkit or your toolbox. I know for me, I'm going to sit and do breath work. I'm going to sit in meditation for an hour. I'm going to go to the gym for an hour. I'm going to take Bella, my beautiful blue staffy puppy, down at the beach, Bella the blue torpedo, and just run her, because then I'm just present. I'm present with Mother Nature. I'm watching the waves roll in. I just throw the ball for Bella, come right back to the now, breaks the state of being just like that. And then the feeling, okay? Biggest lie we've ever been told is that you're a physical being and we're living separate physical lives. We are spiritual, emotional, dimensional beings living a connected life, dimensional, emotional, spiritual lives. So yeah, there's my 3 tips for the day. If you guys would like to get a free copy of my ebook, it's called Limitless, Reconnecting with the Infinite Power Within. And it's how I went from being severely depressed, drinking, drugging, all of that, to a near-death experience. And then I healed myself from critical head injuries. It's my gift to you. I'm sharing this teaching of how I turned what everyone thought was a disaster into my deliverance, into the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. And I wouldn't be on this camera right now speaking to you if it wasn't for that near-death experience. So yeah, as I said, if you could hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, stay up to date by hitting the bell, notifications bell. And as always, the book will be in a link down below in the description. But yeah, as always, from my heart to yours, sending you light and sending you love. Peace.